What's good, Bandana fam? It's DJ Bandana Black, Mr. Well Connected, even more respected. And before we even get into today's video, today's hot topic of the video, I just want to let y'all know on the other channel, on the Bandana Family channel, hopefully you subscribe to the Bandana Family channel. If you're not, click a little joint that's up there, or it's probably on this side. It's either on this side or this side. Click that, subscribe to the Bandana Family channel, because I'm doing my first review. I went to the mall, and I got a couple cops for the day. A couple cops at the mall, and I need y'all to let me know, did I pick out some hot sneakers or not? Like I said, I can't really dress. I'm not really stylish and all that, but I think I picked out some dope joints. But I'm going to show y'all. No, I'm not even. Y'all got to wait. Y'all got to go to the Bandana Family channel. Check out that. Now we about to get into the video.
DJ Bandana.
Hey yo, what's good? It's DJ Bandana Black, Mr. Well Connected, even more respected, Mr. Hashtag I am Buffalo. And listen, I just want to say this: if you're new to the channel, if this is your first time at the channel, make sure you look at right at the bottom of the video, the little red words right there where it says subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Right next to the subscribe button is the notification bell. Make sure you click that notification bell so you can be notified of all the videos that's coming out, because this is the hottest channel. This is the hottest channel that's on the platform right now, and we got the strongest family out here too. Speaking of family, if you already tied in with DJ Bandana Black, you already know you Bandana fam, Bandana gang. Heavy shouts out to the Bandana fam. Check this, right? We got to talk about the situation with J Prince and his Rap-A-Lot chain. We're going to talk about the J Prince and Rap-A-Lot chain thing. Before I start this video, I just want to say this. In no way, no form am I trying to disrespect Mr. J Prince or anything like that. I have a lot of respect for J Prince and what he did in the game, and the foundation, everything that he set, the respect that he has. He's a respectable man, comes from a respectable family. But there's a couple issues with the moves that he's been making as of recently. And I say that to say this, right? Now, again, heavy shouts out to J Prince, much respect to him. But apparently, a few days ago, Almighty J got the almighty hands of God put on him, and they took his chain, and they took his money, took his sneakers, and they also took a Rap-A-Lot chain. Now that Rap-A-Lot chain, I guess, somehow belonged to, or it represents J Prince and Rap-A-Lot Records. So when you're robbing somebody, you're not really like you're not picking and choosing on what you're robbing them for. Like, if you once you got the green light to rob somebody, it's you trying to take as much as you can take and do as much damage as you can take. Now the issues that I have with J Prince, right? And not with him per se. It was a couple issues, right? So we'll start with Almighty J. So Almighty J, you guys may know Almighty Namir and all of them. He had the what's called Rubbing Off the Paint song, hot single. Almighty J had the single called Chopsticks, aka Ratchet, aka 30 Clip and all that. I don't know why he didn't have it on him the 2 times that he got robbed. Now check this, right? So Almighty J, Almighty Namir, all of them Almighty boys, they in videos, heavy videos, Ratchets out in every video. I'm talking about big guns, talking about, man, pull up, boys won't pull up, basically provoking people to pull up on them. Now Almighty J, last year, I believe it was last year, a few months ago last year, got beat up and got relieved of his chain, and he got on the internet talking about, man, y'all got ratchets, y'all got guns, y'all can't even shoot, man, post a chain, post a chain. So when he got his chain took the first time, instead of him like keeping it G, he got online and was just like, yo, that chain didn't even cost that much. Like, that's your response? You supposed to be a street guy. Now you portraying to be a street guy. And like, this is all going to tie into the whole J Prince thing. Just walk with me for a minute. And this is why I think J Prince is wrong, because when Almighty J and Almighty Namir and them, when they're on the internet telling people SMD and telling people to pull up and telling people they got the chopsticks and all that, I don't see J Prince telling them like, yo, you wilding, like you got a Rap-A-Lot chain on, like you bugging, you represent me in a way. Either take that chain off or stop talking like that. So I think as OGs in the game, yes, as an OG in the game, you should try to increase the peace. You should try to, if one of yours get touched, maybe try to get the chain back and stuff like that too. But part of being an OG is stopping a situation before it happens. So when you see these young guys, and I understand this is like your family, you're invested in them also. So this is your investment. A smart investment would be to and I'm not blaming J Prince because he got a lot that's going on, but I'm just saying you got to keep the same energy. You can't play both sides. You can't not say nothing publicly when these guys are online with your chain. They got your chain on, representing you, Mr. J Prince, representing Rap-A-Lot Records, representing the whole family, basically making a mockery of you guys, because I mean, you guys got deep rooted in the streets. You guys are respectable people where you're from, all across the world, but really more so in Texas like that too. But these guys ain't respected nowhere except for on GTA, on Grand Theft Auto, on PlayStation, while you're playing on Xbox Live. That's where they're respected. There's some pretty good gamers like on GTA. I hats off to them on GTA and all these gaming sites and all that. They was definitely putting in work. They was top ranked player and all that. But as far as in the streets, what you represent in real life and actual reality, it's not the same. So when you put your stamp on something like that, you got to keep the same energy both ways. So if we don't see you publicly saying to chill out, to stop telling people this, to stop flashing all these ratchets and all that stuff on the internet, and then when something happened to this guy, then you want to step up and say, this is where this comes from, right? So Jay Prince put a post on Instagram, and I even have an issue with this post, because if we keep it in the streets, we were just gonna read what he said, right? So at Jay Prince respect, it says mob ties. Call to my real street ends, and I'm just gonna black that out just for YouTube words. For real street ends, Bronx. There's a clown by the name of Zay and his crew who want to become famous by bragging about robbing rap industry ends. Right there is where I have the first issue. There's a clown by the name of Zay, so you get what I'm saying. There's a clown by the name of Zay and his crew who want to become famous by bragging about robbing rap industry ends. Now, when Almighty Jay was doing all that almighty talking before he got the almighty hands of God put on him, you wasn't naming names. You didn't make a post and say, yo, at Almighty Jay, like, yo, you wilding out. You representing my brand. You representing the family. Like, you making us look bad. So he continues on by saying, they recently bragged about robbing the artist YBM Almighty Jay, whom I'm invested in. So basically saying like, yo, he part of the fam, whom I'm invested in. They robbed him of his money and jewelry, including a Rap-A-Lot piece. So therefore, they have robbed a piece of me. So you're putting yourself in it, saying that they robbed you too. So this is your chain. They robbed you by getting that chain from them. So it says, this is a perfect opportunity to execute our unity where we don't allow moment thinkers to muddy the water over the movement. With that being said, to the homies in the Bronx, if any of these clowns are y'all's family or friends, speak now so we can get an understanding. To ignore this is a recipe for disaster. Other than that, it's these clowns versus realest street ends in every hood around the world, and that's the meaning of mob ties. And then he goes on to tag a few people. Now, mind you, I have a couple issues just with that whole paragraph that he just wrote, because there wasn't a paragraph prior to this, prior to YBM Almighty basically talking reckless on the internet. So he tags, and a couple of these people, I can't speak for everybody who he tags. I never heard some of these people, but he tagged Funkmaster Flex. So you expecting 60-year-old Funkmaster Flex to go to the Bronx and get your chain back? They don't respect Funkmaster Flex like that no more. Especially, I don't respect Funkmaster Flex, especially after he basically said that whole thing about Aaliyah. Like, he's not respected like that. Funkmaster Flex is not somebody who can get your chain back. And then My Sign in general. My Sign has always been somebody that's been real. I don't know about My Sign. I don't know anything personally about him, but that might be your best bet out of this list. Fred the Godson, definitely dope artist, but I remember there was a video a few years ago where he got relieved of his chain too. That's not a diss to him. I respect and support Fred the Godson. That might him and My Sign in general might be your best bet out of here. Artist BL, which is I almost just forgot his name. But anyways, y'all know who Artist BL is, High Bridge and all them. So I don't think he's getting your chain back. Cardi B has too much money, and she probably don't care about YB Almighty to get your chain back. Hocus 4/5, I'm not really sure who Hocus 4/5 is. And Corey Guns and I'm just speaking from a fan standpoint. Didn't Corey Guns get caught with a ratchet and then just disappear and didn't do no jail time? So I'm pretty sure he's not going to the Bronx to get that chain back. Fat Joe, probably Fat Joe, Umpi, and My Sign in general is probably your best bet. Swiss Beats, you tag Swiss Beats to get a chain back, and Remy Ma. Remy Ma is a family person right now. I don't think she's too, like, just being real with you. Like I said, I don't want this to come off as disrespect to Mr. J Prince, but a lot of times you got to look at things through the eyes of reality. So the reality of the situation is none of these people care about YBM Almighty enough to put their life on the line, to put their name on the line, to get that chain back. You know why? Because he was out here wilding. He provoked it. Not like we don't know what this is over, but just the energy that he was giving out on the internet with him telling everybody SMD, gang squad, we got the 30-round clip. Ain't nobody gonna pull up and all that. So you got to keep the same energy. That's just how the streets go. And this ain't the 90s where you could just call over to a neighborhood and somebody gonna get your chain back. Like, these days, yeah, you can call over to a neighborhood, somebody can go put some work in and get that chain back, but it's not like back in the days where there were certain people in different neighborhoods who basically, like, I'm not going to say ran that neighborhood, but basically ran the neighborhood. These young dudes don't care about none of that. Ain't no OGs, ain't nobody listening to them. It's a free-for-all. People who run the neighborhoods 15, 16 years old right now. Some of them older people that's in those neighborhoods from back in those days, they got to check in with these young guys. They got to go through these young guys and make sure they good in the streets. So I say that to say this, just to keep it honest and keep it 100. Like, heavy shouts out, heavy respect to Jay Prince. I hope YBN Almighty is recovering good. I can't say that I'm surprised this happened to him. I can't say that I'm sorry that this happened to him. I hope this is a learning lesson from YBN Almighty for the rest of the YBNs and for a lot of you young kids who come from these video games and come from not reality of actually being in the streets when street stuff happened to you. When you act like you're from the streets and you act like you're a certain type of way, street stuff happened to you, and you got to take it the same way. You can't be street, and then when something street happen, oh no, man, we citizens, we rappers, man, people just doing wrong. Like, they didn't do nothing wrong. You know what they did? Street stuff. You know what happened to them? Street stuff. You know where he was at? In the streets. But y'all hop in the comments and let me know. Is it just me? Because I seen a lot of people reporting on this, and a lot of them were saying like, yo, they got to respect Jay Prince to get a chain back. These young dudes don't care. These wasn't like people that was Funkmaster Flex age robbing YBN Almighty. These young dudes don't care about nothing. I think that's the miscommunication with the older generation and the younger generation. Like, back when I was a kid, when I was like 14, 15, yeah, you could pretty much call in any neighborhood if you knew who ran that neighborhood and say, like, listen, this happened, we need that back. Now you call over there, they might clap you and the person that you sent. So you got to be careful with putting your name on stuff. If I was Mr. Jay Prince, I would, whoever got a Rap-A-Lot chain on, we would have a little group powwow, a little group chat, group message. Like, listen, if y'all respecting me, y'all got to move respectful, because it's kind of unfair to the streets when you have somebody that's not abiding by the street rules, but was representing your name in the streets, and something like this happened. It's just like, oh, you could just swoop down and save the day. It don't happen that way in 2019. Anyways, hop in the comments and let me know. Is DJ Bandana Black, Mr. Well Connected, even more respected? As I always say, life is what you make it, so make it. I'm out.
DJ Bandana.